Hello everyone. I hope you all are fine. I'm sure that life has turned out quite differently for all of us than what we thought it would be a year ago. A lot has changed, a lot is changing, and a lot will be changed by the time this COVID phase is over. Some questions bug some of us more than ever now. Questions like: am I working hard enough to secure my future? Why are my carefully calibrated plans losing relevance? Or why, despite working so diligently, I'm still finding it hard to cope with my emotional struggles, struggles of my family, trying to strive financially, relationship struggles within my family, struggles of not having teachers and mates around me when I need them the most. Is it just me, or is this uncertainty and highlighting the dreams of others around me as well? Majority of the students face these fears daily. It's okay to be afraid in these testing times because fear of change is built into the very fabric of our existence. Keep working hard. You need to keep believing in your teachers, your parents, and above all, you need to keep your faith in God intact because after every struggle, there's always a long lasting peace. No matter how hard and never ending a phase appears to be, it's tranquility that prevails after every storm. What appears to be discomforting initially is often a path to a long lasting comfort. Every success story is a story of struggles and failures despite sincere efforts. Then we have some other students on the other hand, for whom COVID 19 is a dream come true. As a student, they no longer have to wake up in the early mornings. No one no longer compels them to attend the school and study hard. They can play around anyone just by holding a phone in their hands. They can watch as many YouTube videos or Netflix or Prime videos as they want. They can use social media platforms or play online games with their friends all day long. Exams are being cancelled or delayed. And even if online exams are being conducted by the school, they seem to have found a workaround for them as well. Everything seems to be going in their favor right now. If you are one of those students and watching this video right now, remember one thing: future belongs to those who prepare themselves for it. Those who know how to put a strong show in their lives, no matter what the circumstances are. So do not give yourselves to the comfort of these times because comfort is anti growth and disastrous. And just as storms are a sign of following calmness, too much of silence is often accompanied by large tsunamis. So I will, through a small parable, try to help you change your narrative about the changes that come and go in our lives, changing us forever. This is a story of four characters. Two are mice named Sniff and Scurry, and two are little people. The names are Ham and Haw. These little beings are the size of mice. So the story is about these four characters going out in the maze to find cheese for themselves. This maze is a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, some containing delicious cheese, but there are also dark corners and blind alleys leading nowhere. It's an easy place for someone to get lost. Sniff and Scurry ran through different corridors daily, looking for cheese. They remembered the corridors that held no cheese and quickly went into new areas. Ham and Haw used their ability to think and learn from their past experiences and referred to several books, guides, maps, and encyclopedias. It made their life in maze more complicated and challenging. Nonetheless, Sniff, Scurry, Ham, and Haw all discovered their cheese one day in a chamber located at the end of the corridors known as Cheese Station C. This Cheese Station C was full of all different types of cheese in very large quantities. Every morning after that, they all established their routine. Sniff and Scurry continued to wake up early every day and race through the maze, always following the same route. Then they enjoyed the cheese at the Cheese Station C. In the beginning, Ham and Haw also raced towards the Cheese Station C every morning to enjoy the tasty cheese. But after a while, they became lazy and awoke little later each day, dressed a little slower, and walked apathetically to Cheese Station C. After all, they knew where the cheese was now and how to get there. Ham and Haw had no idea where the cheese came from or who put it there. They assumed it would remain there forever. So, in a way, Ham and Haw settled in and started taking things for granted. They were becoming very comfortable now that they had found the cheese. They said, "There's enough cheese here to last us forever." Time went on. Sniff and Scurry continued inspecting the area. They noticed that cheese was depleting and getting stale and musty over time. One morning, they arrived at Cheese Station C and discovered there was no cheese. They weren't surprised. They were prepared for the inevitable and knew instinctively what to do. They looked at each other and quickly jumped off into the maze in the search of new cheese. Later that day, Lazy Ham and Haw arrived at the cheese station C, so they were unprepared for what they found. What? No cheese? Ham yelled. He continued yelling, "No cheese! No cheese!" as though if his loud shouts would be enough to bring the cheese back. He screamed at the top of his voice, "It's not fair! Someone stole it! It was supposed to be here!" Haw too was in disbelief. They ranted and raved at the injustice that had been done to them. They had made their future plans based on this cheese. "Where are Sniff and Scurry?" Ham scoffed. Sniff and Scurry were already well on their way. They didn't think of anything else but finding new cheese. They finally went into the area of the maze where they had never been before. Cheese Station N. It was the biggest store of cheese Sniff and Scurry had ever seen. On the other side, Ham and Haw were still shocked and baffled. Their ramble continued for days, when finally, one day Haw began laughing at himself. "We have dug the entire chamber. We keep saying and doing the same things over and over again without things getting any better." Ham still showed his reluctance, so Haw took a deep breath, turned right into the maze, and jogged slowly into the unknown. He realized that trying was still much better than staying in cheeseless situation forever. He finally finds a new cheese station with Sniff and Scurry already savoring their favorite cheese in it. Upon seeing them, Sniff and Scurry laughed. They nodded their heads in admiration. Then Haw lifted a piece of fresh cheese and made a toast. Hooray for the change! He, however, felt sorry for his dear friend Ham, whom he failed to convince, and who he knew won't have survived from the hunger. This story is based on the book written by Dr. Spencer Johnson. This story has glaring similarities with our lives. All of us are always functioning like one of the four characters of this story. Either we act like a sniff and sense the situation before it actually becomes a challenge, or we sprung into action like a scurry immediately when we faced uncertainty, or we hog like haw, that is, we learn only after repeated failures, or we keep hemming like ham, always complaining, finding fault in the people around us, in our lives, in God, in our destinies, consistently cursing nations we are born into, societies we are grown into, wailing, crying, cursing, without looking into the roots of the problems or the challenges we face, without holding ourselves accountable for it. History proves that sniffs always lead the world. In every sphere of life with glory, they are able to sense and comprehend the situation. As students, they know what is being taught today will never be taught again. They understand the value of making, maintaining, and submitting the notebooks in time. They consistently work hard because they know delayed exams or cancelled exams don't change anything. This world will always be more competitive tomorrow than it was yesterday. They achieve success very young. Scurries, on the other hand, due to their ability to respond to situations promptly, too fare well in their lives, but mostly end up working for sniffs or relying upon sniffs for their success. These are like students who start working hard the day date sheet is announced. Then we have haws. Haws are the ones who pay a heavy price for whatever success they taste in their lives. Their inability to act promptly forces them through a roller coaster of failures and struggles in their lives. Chances are that horse too will succeed in their lives, but they pay quite a hefty ransom in the terms of their physical and mental well being. They taste success quite late in their lives. Horse are like students who study only 2 or 3 days before their exams, relying a lot on their luck, an arrow shot at randomness. They often end up not utilizing their true potential and always assist sniffs and scurries in achieving their success. They can never be as successful as sniffs and scurries. Then there is the last category amongst us that doesn't bother to leave their comfort zone, no matter how badly situation demands them to do so. These are like students who never prepare, always rely on some uncanny methods to pass through exams or online tests, never bother to even buy books, make notebooks, attend classes, and keep fooling around their parents and teachers by making excuses. This category of students always end up struggling to survive, just like the ham of our story. Now, the best thing about this analogy is that you choose who you are, and the beauty of this analogy is you can decide to be a sniff any moment you realize that you had been hemming in your life till now, but very few people have the tendency and capacity to ask themselves this question: Who am I? Or which one of these four characters would I choose to be? Can you answer this question? Thanks for watching the video. Like and comment if you liked it.